Hey guys, it's George. Welcome to today's video. This is my Kpop Trend Report of 2022 and my predictions for 2023. I don't know how long this video is going to be. There are a lot of trends I've got written down. Some of you are going to be like, this is fucking obvious, but enjoy. If you are new here and you want to learn more about my fashion background, I've left a little blurb in the description box, but let's just jump into our 2022 Trends Report. I think it's only right to kick off our 2022 Trend Report with the trend that had K-pop in a chokehold. I'm gonna say like half of the year, the first half of the year, this trend was like bubbling up and then just boom, bam, everyone was jumping on the bandwagon, which is Y2K. And I know you're probably like, obviously George, but I've pulled out, I think like 7 or 8 sub-trends of the Y2K trend. We're gonna get deep into Y2K. And the thing that I find the funniest about the Y2K trend is, I lived through Y2K. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on Netflix, watch an episode of Laguna Beach, because that was like the real Y2K. And you'll see that it was not a good time. So our first sub-trend of Y2K is wide cut jeans and cargo pants. And I know wide cut jeans have been around for a while now. We've seen the skinny jean decrease in popularity. If that's still your vibe, that's still your vibe. It really doesn't matter. But we've definitely seen wide cut denim grow in popularity over the previous years. And it was a trend within K-pop. But, it fits into the Y2K trend, and especially how they're being styled now. One of the most recent examples of this is New Jeans, Oh My God. They're really leaning into that Y2K skater boy vibe with the really wide cut jeans, and they're sat right at their hips. They're not high-waisted, they're sat right on the hip. And then they've been styled with those white crop tops at different lengths. And then you can see that the jeans have been decorated with belts, keychains hanging off of the belt loops, and to me that really emulates like jean chains that were just like such a big thing during like the naughty period. And when I say naughties, I don't mean like you're bad, I mean like naughties, the time era. These looks in New Jeans, Oh My God, it really makes me think of Megan Fox in the noughties, where she used to wear her son's t-shirts and they were like these slogan prints cropped. I think another great example is Le Seraphim Anti-Fragile, and I think their use of denim, it's more contemporary whilst nodding to the Y2K styling. New Jeans, it's like deep in the trend. In Anti-Fragile, we're still getting that wide cut on Sakura, Chaewon and Kazuha, but the distressing and the way they've been styled, it takes it away from being like so true to the Y2K trend. We also have Yinjin in the boot cut jean, and when you first see it, it's not so obvious that it's boot cut because you can see that there's distressing, there's paneling, the actual boot cut section of the jean is darker. So that was another popular cut of jeans during this time, the boot cut, the wide cut. And then, when the skinny jean came in, that boot cut, she demised quick. With boy groups, I think they've been dipping their toes into the Y2K trend, but like female idols have just like dived like head first in. And it's the same with this sub-trend of the wide cut jeans being styled in this Y2K way. Male groups, I should say, are starting to like, test the waters. I think Stray Kids in Case 143 is a fantastic example. The scene where they're in the more casual looks, the denim, the wider cuts on Felix, Lino and Hyunjin, really like starting to push that Y2K aesthetic, especially Hyunjin. He had the waistband of the underwear hanging out. That was something very popular in that noughties time period. And then you'll also notice that a lot of the members have those gold metal belts just sat on their hips, and those gold belts on the hips, it gives me PTSD when I actually think back to how they were styled back in the day. The same with Hypen Past the Mic. I think Heesung and Jae, their outfits are really giving us those noughties vibes. Heesung, he's in that black long sleeve top, and then he's got the wide cut jeans that are sitting right at his hips, and then he's got that belt Does anyone else remember these belts from the noughties? They were like webbing and you would slide it through the metal buckle and you would have the bar that would hold it in place. And then Jay's look really leans into this too. The wide cut jeans with the contrast stitch, and then it's been styled with that gilet, the baseball cap. I feel like we also got a little taste out of it from 10 in his MV for Birthday, where he had those really wide cut black jeans, the heavy boots, and then he had all of the belts around the waist when he was shirtless with the cropped blazer. Such an amazing look. For me though, there were two boy groups this year that really truly lent into the Y2K trend, and that was NCT, like Glitch Mode, Candy, strong Y2K vibes, and then also P1 Harmony with Back Down, strong Y2K aesthetics throughout the entire MV. I did mention as well that we're seeing this wide cut being pulled through into cargo trousers, and I think some fantastic examples of this are Mamamoo, Solar, Ilela, NCT Dream Candy, the black and white looks, and then also in Hype and Pass the Mic when they're in those blue jumpsuits. Some of the members are in jumpsuits, some of the members are in trousers, and it just really, like, the wide cut cargo trouser, like, ooh, I'm vibing. Moving on to our second Y2K sub-trend, we've got low-rise jeans and skirts, and I'm not sure how I feel about this one, if I'm completely honest. I think in some cases it really works, and then in other cases it's just a bit too literal. An example of it where I think it is too literal, it is Yuna's cover of You Go Girl, and apparently this went viral because of the low-cut jeans. For me, where the jeans are a boot cut, they're extremely low, and then they've been styled with that pointed stiletto heel, it's just too literal. I think if you want to go for the low rise, you need to stick in that wider cut leg just because it makes it more contemporary. Y2K is all great, but when you go too literal with it, it's a bit like, oh God. That's just my opinion anyway. I think a really fantastic example of low-rise trousers and skirts that really works was Feel My Rhythm by Red Velvet. The scene where they're dancing in the garden, the members are dressed in blue and pink. Seulgi and Joy both have those low-rise cuts. Seulgi's look is so Y2K with that wrap top that ties in the front in the pink, and then she has those really low-rise blue trousers on with the wide belt. The silhouette is balanced and it's not too literal. And then Joy's, hers isn't like true low rise, but where it sits just below her belly button, it's giving us that Y2K silhouette. And I think it looks fantastic how it's been styled. The cropped shirt, and then she has that gold belt on the hips. Like I mentioned about Stray Kids Case 143, it was a real thing in the noughties. Another example is Blackpink Shutdown, Jennie and Lisa. Jennie in the low-rise wide-leg denim. Do you see what I mean? It looks more modern and contemporary than Yuna in You Go Girl with her boot cut. And then Lisa, she's got that low-rise cargo trouser. And both ways that they've been styled, it really plays off of that low-rise cut, but it's still contemporary. It doesn't look like someone's just gone in a time machine. Sadiq, you also mentioned that you're noticing thong straps poking out of the low-rise skirts, the low-rise jeans, and this is something that I've picked up on as well. I think one of the main examples is Blackpink's Lisa in Pink Venom. When she's in the rap scene, she's got the dungarees. You can see that Celine thong like poking out. One of the examples that Sadiq gave was Idol with their VR tour. I also remembered that Solar had it in Honey, the yellow look with the fluffy skirt. We had the thong straps poking out. And then Somi's dance practice with YGX. The girl is giving us full whale tail. And if you don't know what that means, I'm sure you can figure it out. Another example that I really loved was Seulgi 28 Reasons when she was giving us that Aaliyah vibe. Such a fantastic look. I remember I was fangirling so hard over it in my reaction. Sticking with skirts for our third Y2K sub-trend, pleated mini skirts. Pleated mini skirts just make me think of like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, The Simple Life. I was obsessed with that show growing up, and we're seeing it pop up a lot here. Esper Girls, fantastic example on Winter and Giselle. And then you'll also notice that their most recent performance of Girls at SMCU Palace, all of the members are in pleated miniskirts. Red Velvet Birthday, this entire MV really lent into the Y2K trend, and we had those camo pleated miniskirts. On Yeri, it was pleated all the way around and not as short as Irene's. Irene's wrapped and there were no pleats in the front, but in the back it was pleated, and this was just screaming like simple life vibes to me. I was loving it. Another fantastic example, Blackpink Pink Venom. We have Lisa in that really tiny distressed sandy tone mini skirt. The pleats, the layers, the styling of it really fits the vibe of the MV, but it's still giving us that like kiss of Y2K. Our fourth sub-trend, Diesel. Diesel has made a huge resurgence this year, and it's definitely a popular brand within K-pop idols. I think one of the most notable Diesel pieces that we've seen on K-pop idols is that pink Diesel dress. We've seen it on CL, we've seen it on Red Velvet Joy, we've seen it on aespa Karina. Fantastic dress, I understand why. And then we've also seen Diesel on Idol's Mini and TXT's Yeonjun. They actually attended Diesel's pop-up event in Korea, so you know, but these are just a few examples, and I think this is really gonna grow in 2023. Keep your eye out for their new D logo. It is popping up everywhere. Our fifth sub-trend of Y2K is fluffy hats, and this trend is probably like the number one Y2K vibe. It was everywhere and in so many different styles. I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just gonna give you the examples because I have got a list. Blackpink's Jennie in Shutdown, IVE's Wonyoung in Afterlike, ATEEZ's Hongjoon in Halazia, NCT 127's Taeyong in Two Baddies, LE SSERAFIM's Chaewon in Anti-Fragile, Mamamoo's Sola wore a fluffy hat in her solo Honey, and then also in Elala, Stray Kids' Han in Maniac, and then of course NCT Dream Candy, Jeno, Chenle with that fluffy Chanel visor, a really sick take on it. And there are more. That was just a handful, and I think this is something we'll continue to see in 2023. And an extension of the fluffy hat trend that I think we're starting to see is fluffy hair ties. We saw it on Joy in Birthday, we saw it on Yena in Smartphone, and we saw it on a few members of Fromis_9 at the SBSK de genre carpet, so keep your eye out for that. Our final Y2K sub-trend, and one of the biggest, is ties, and I'm counting this more so in female idols. Ties have always been a thing within male idols, but when I think of the noughties and ties, I just straight away think of Avril Lavigne, and this is the vibe that we're getting. Once again, aespa girls, and you'll notice throughout this video that I've tried to pick out the same examples because you can really see the popularity of these trends. So aespa girls, Karina, Giselle, Ning Ning, all wearing ties. For their latest performance of girls, I've already mentioned SMCU Palace, Karina, Giselle and Ning Ning, again, are all wearing ties. And then Red Velvet Birthday, we have the tie on Irene in her outfit of that camo mini skirt, which just really pushed it in that incredible Y2K direction for me. And then we have it on Seulgi in the scene where they're wearing the black looks with all of the multicolored beads. She's got the black band t-shirt on and then the tie over the top with all of the beads. Another fantastic example, Idol Tomboy, the black and the white looks where they've got the wide cut jeans, the white shirts, the leather ties, the leather jackets. Such a strong set of looks for like one of the biggest songs of 2022. Kepler, We Fresh, another fantastic example, and I love the way that the ties were styled here. Some members with, some members without, but the members who did wear them, it wasn't just a tie and a shirt. They had like chains going across the top, pins in them. They were really accessorized to the max. Okay, let's move away from Y2K. It was a big moment in K-pop this year and there were a lot of sub-trends, but one of the other biggest trends that I noticed was tops and skirts that had those suspender belt pieces. I first noticed this with GOT, Girls on Top with Step Back. Seulgi wore a beautiful crystal top in their performance video that had the suspender pieces just under the bust, and then when we saw their live performance, Winter had the skirt of the suspender pieces. So I really like the fact that they were being used in different ways, and then since then we've seen that trend really grow. Another one that was really notable for me was Red Velvet Wild Side. Seulgi and Wendy, who are also members of GOT, also had this styling in Wild Side. Seulgi just under the bust, Wendy on the skirt, and then we saw it on Twice Talk That Talk on Chewy. She had the skirt with the suspender belt pieces. We also see a flash of Daeyeon in the mini skirt with the suspender belt pieces, and on one side it clips onto the thigh-high boot. I just love that styling. We also get a flash of it in Idol's Nude on Shuha at the end. She's got that beige top on, the suspender belt pieces. And then we've also seen it on the red carpet on ITZY's Rujin at the KBS Song Festival. And one of the main things I really loved about the suspender belt elements in the tops and skirts was that we were seeing elements of lingerie too. We were seeing giant hook and eyes in the front of skirts, and then we saw this lingerie elements within fashion continuing into a trend of its own. I think Twice Talk That Talk is a fantastic example of this, and I know there was a lot of controversy around how they were dressed, because they're a group that usually give us like a very cute vibe, and they went in this more mature, sexy direction, but they're grown women. Let them live. Exactly what I said in my reaction, but we're getting the boned corset tops on Daeyeon. Obviously Mina in the all black look, she's got the bustier, the lace cut out at the bust, the suspender belts, the suspenders, the stilettos, the bow in the hair. I'm obsessed. But then that suspender element on Mina's look has been pulled through to the other members in the use of those leather harnesses on the thighs. Sana, Chewy on Momo over the top of the red jumpsuit. On Youngjin, we have the black corset with those giant hooks and eyes, and it sweeps around under the bust. There are so many examples of this lingerie element trend in Twice Talk That Talk. They really lent into it with this video. Another obvious example is Idol Nude. The showgirl looks really lent into that. They were giving us Lady Marmalade. But then also with the 90s Chanel looks, Suyeon, Mion, they had the suspenders coming out underneath of their miniskirts. Another big trend that I noticed within female idols and male idols was gloves and arm pieces. Whilst, we were freshly talking about Twice Talk That Talk, we saw the beautiful sheer gloves on Sana's look. Daeyeon has the arm pieces in her beige look. And then Neon in the red and black look, she has those laced arm pieces going up. It really works with the outfit. We also saw arm pieces in Idol Tomboy with their red looks. We had them in Esper Girls and Yena Smiley, another fantastic example. And then when we get to male idols, 17 really lent into this, especially on Hoshi. In 17 Hot, we had gloves on Hoshi in pretty much every look, and also on June. And then in 17 Cheers, the purple look, the massive wide brim hats with all of the jewels, I love that. Hoshi is also wearing gloves. Stray Kids in Case 143 with their police looks, a lot of the members are wearing gloves. And then also NCT 1272 Baddies, they went wild with this gloves trend. Everywhere throughout this music video. Our next trend is one that I've picked up on in music videos, but also in Idol's personal style. And that is the Charles Jeffrey Loverboy beanies that have the animal ears. We saw this most recently in NCT Dream Candy on Jisung, I believe, Kepler We Fresh on Hikaru, and then we've also seen them all over Instagram. One of my favorite ways it's been styled was in Key's W Korea shoot. I believe we've also seen Taeyeon wearing them, and she just looks so adorable, like, come on. And then a trend that I've picked up on within our male idols is the varsity, like, college style, but it also gives us like a strong like boyfriend vibe. We saw it pretty much throughout the main set of looks in Treasure Jik Jin. And then we also saw this in NCT Dream Candy, on Jeno, on Mark, the varsity jackets. Mark's was styled in a more like skater boy kind of way with the wide leg jeans and the plaid. Kang Daniel, Nirvana, he had this like varsity look going on, but it was just styled slightly differently. And then P1 Harmony, Do It Like This. They were all over this look. Okay, let's move on to our 2023 predictions. And I think the Y2K trend is just going to continue to grow. We've seen it a lot within female idols already. I think we'll continue to see that moving forward. But I think we'll see a lot more male idols stepping in and experimenting with this trend. As I said at the start of the video, female idols have like dived headfirst into that Y2K pool, but like the male idols have been like dipping their toes. And you know, some groups have really gone for it. Others might need to be pushed. Something I do want to see with this Y2K trend though is I want to see some grungier Y2K looks, like Stray Kids Superboard. That was giving me the Y2K grunge that I wanted to see, and we started to see some like emo vibes with their styling, which I was really, really feeling. I need to see more of that. I want to see more of that. Other Y2K trends that I think will continue to grow, the fluffy hats. I think we'll see the fluffy hair ties really explode. And I think Diesel will just continue on its path of resurgence. Like, I think we're just going to see that logo like popping up everywhere this year within K-pop idols. And actually, I don't know if they have any K-pop idol ambassadors yet, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone becomes an ambassador for Diesel this year. I think the Charles Jeffrey ear beanies, that will just continue to grow as well this year. L1SMM, you left me a comment saying that you think dipped fingers will continue to become a trend in 2023. And you mentioned the examples of Triple S Generation and then also Mingi in Halazia. And we also saw it in NCT 1272 Baddies, Yuta, but his was like the jewelry version. And when I think back to my Idol marathon, we also saw it on Mini. That was a few years ago. So I think it always looks really sick and effective on camera. So I hope we continue to see the dipped finger trend grow. The next two, I don't know whether they're trends just because we're in winter at the moment, but snow boots, I have a love-hate trend with snow boots. Examples, well, I've loved it. Le Sserafim Anti-Fragile, the silver and blue looks where they were giving us like the snow angel vibes. I believe it was Chaewon and Eunchae who had the snow boots. It worked. I loved it. And then also Karina in the performance of Hot and Cold with Kai, Jeno and Solgi. I think the way that they were used of her outfit, it was just a great enhancement. It added another texture without it being like overkill. And then examples where I've not liked it, New Jeans and Stacey at the KBS Song Festival, just snow boots on the red carpet. It didn't work for me, and I don't know, it's just, as I said, it's a love-hate. Sometimes it's a vibe, sometimes you're like, oh, no. And another wintry trend, ski goggles, and then also we're seeing like styles of glasses popping up that also look like goggles. Stray Kids Give Me Your TMI. We saw a lot of these glasses that look like goggles, I believe on Hyunjin and Changbin. And then we also saw ski goggles in the Maniac video on Hyunjin. And then if my memory serves me correct, we saw them quite a lot on Mingi during their Gorilla performances. And most recently, we saw them on Treasure's Yoshi at the Golden Disc Awards during their performance. So I think this will be an interesting one to see if it grows or whether it's just like a winter, like seasonal trend. A trend that I think we're going to see grow, but I really strongly fucking dislike is cycling shorts. And every time I mention this, there's always people in the comments that are getting the wrong end of the stick of what I'm saying. Cycling shorts layered under skirts and dresses, it's just something I'm not gonna like. It's never been a thing. If you go back through my videos, every time it's cropped up, I've absolutely hated it. New Jeans, Cookie, that Prada skirt on Danielle where it went shorter in the back and they had cycling shorts underneath. I hated that from the start. I've not liked cycling shorts or New Jeans on any of their red carpets. I believe one of the members of Le Sserafim, I think it was Yoon Jin, she also wore that same Prada skirt where it went up in the back and you have the cycling shorts. Regardless on who it's on, I will not like it. And then I saw it most recently on GOT, Girls on Top, on Stamp on It, their teaser pictures. Nike cycling shorts under a red asymmetric gown. I just can't. I just don't like it. You might like it, cool, but I really don't like it, and I think it's just something we're going to see continue to grow in 2023. I really fucking hope not. And then two trends that I really want to see happen this year is I want to see more contemporary tailoring on male idols at red carpets. Don't get me wrong, classic tailoring can be great. Most recently, J Park at the Golden Disc Awards, that's how you do classic tailoring. But when you're sending out groups that are youthful and contemporary and you've put them in like classic tailoring that like a 45-year-old man would wear to like a Christmas dinner for his corporate job, like it's just not cool. Like, get some contemporary brands in. There are so many contemporary brands that do such sick tailoring, like come on. And then I also want to see colour on the red carpet. I love a black and white graphic moment, but colour on the red carpet when it's done right, straight away thinking of Kepler at the Mama, Idol at the Golden Disc Awards. Colour can be so beautiful on the red carpet, and we're starting to slowly see more of it. I just want to see a lot more next year, end of year show season. This year even, shit. That is it for my K-pop Trend Report 2022 and my predictions for 2023. Please let me know some of your predictions for 2023 K-pop trends in the comments. But yeah, if you've made it through this entire video, like, props to you. Wow, it's been an intense one. We've gone all the way back to the start of 2022. We've basically gone to the end of this year, 2023. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. If you've made it all the way through, please leave me 3 of like the twinkly star emojis because it's cute. And if you've made it the entire way through this video, you're cute. Once again, thank you so much for watching. A massive thank you to everyone who subscribed. You are amazing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.